Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you having a fantastic Friday, wherever you are around the world. Hopefully, everyone was all good. Hopefully, everyone is well. I've just noticed my microphone is way too much in my face, but how are we, chat? Hopefully, all of you having a great Friday, wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to another match preview show for you guys today. Of course, it is the big one, Liverpool against Manchester United. I say big one, let's be perfectly honest. Arne Slot could possibly rotate against Manchester United, but of course, we know he's never going to do that, is he? And of course, we know the struggles that Manchester United are currently going through anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section and down below. Of course, we've got to speak about it on the get-go, of course, obviously about the game. Again, there is a possibility it might be postponed due to the weather. Of course, obviously, I think from the northwest up till I think up down. I think probably from my end. It could be going amber warning. I think for snow and ice. So again, the game could possibly be called off. Which again, for Liverpool's point of view, it's not great. But of course, hopefully, the game will still go ahead on Sunday night, of course, anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But of course, we'll be speaking about Liverpool and Manchester United, but we will, of course, be speaking. Well, I say speaking. We will be discussing, of course, transfer news related. Of course, Ben Doak has been the big conversation, big subject of conversation, of course, today regarding, of course, obviously bids coming in from multiple clubs. Now, of course, we'll talk a little bit about that a bit later on as well. But mainly, we will talk about Liverpool against Manchester United as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts, chat as well in the comments. Of course, please let me know your starting 11 predictions, your score predictions as well, and just let me know how we are all doing. Sorry, Joe, my eyes are absolutely itching as hell. But Ozan says, I'm so bummed about the Trent and Salah situation, Con. Again, same, but I think, I hope that we get some positive news really, really soon, at least in one or two of the contract renewals anyway, at the moment, of course. But Ozan also says in the middle of a great season, really, as well. Absolutely agree with you there, Ozan, as well. But I just saw some United channels predicting they will win 1-0 at Anfield. To be fair, let's be perfectly honest, I think that's the only scoreline they can go for. They can't see United battering us. Of course, they will hope for what they did against Manchester City in terms of clinging on and Liverpool not performing in that sense, and them having that hope of getting a late 2 goals, for example. But I think Liverpool and Manchester City this season are two different animals. Obviously City, obviously with the injuries that they've had, obviously Rodri being out, but still the form that they've had. Again, nobody deserved to win that Manchester derby, but I think Liverpool, of course, under Arne Slot, they've been fully firing this season. And look, I do expect a Liverpool win. Could we say another 7-0? Or of course maybe, but I'm not too sure in that regard as well. Anyway, but big up Andrew as well, saying, "Hey Connor, Paul Ghost has said from his Echo article that Salah's agent will be on Merseyside this weekend, guessing to help out with the negotiations. Hopefully, that it's always a hope, isn't it? When it comes to, of course, Rami being in town, but hopefully we will have some positive news concerning, of course, contract news, of course, hopefully. Anyway, obviously, touch wood, to be fair. But we will, of course, before we do talk mainly about Liverpool, Manchester United, we're going to talk, of course, about Ben Doak, obviously today, subject to a lot of transfer activity. And as you guys can see on the screen right now, obviously this is from David Ornstein, saying that Ipswich have made a £16 million offer to sign Ben Doak from Liverpool, far below the valuation, plus, of course, Crystal Palace's deal, or Crystal Palace's bid, sorry, of 15 million. Bid has been rejected, but Ipswich, as pursuit is ongoing. Middlesbrough, informed of the current proposal levels, Liverpool's preference is to leave the 19-year-old at Middlesbrough for the season. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts on Ben Doak. Of course, obviously we did a short on it earlier on. Of course, a lot of people have had their opinions, of course, on the Ben Doak situation. For me, I think, 15-16 million for me is too low. I think I said it earlier on, I think if you got 20 million and you had a sell-on clause, or you had a buyback clause, or something in that region of the fact that, again, Liverpool could have first proposal, I think, after it. Of course, I think that's a great thing for Liverpool, but supposedly in terms of the Ipswich and the Crystal Palace deals, again, it was just the bid up front. Nothing in terms of, again, sell on clause or buyback clause in that regard as well. But of course, Liverpool both rejecting them bids. Liverpool see Ben Doak around £30 million, which I know that's caused a bit debate. Of course, some Reds suggesting that, again, Liverpool should have sold at 15 million. Some Reds thinking that, look, we should be asking for the 30 million, and that's about it. I think in today's market, like I said it at the front, for me, I think 20 million what is the price that I'm at, looking at it. But of course, Liverpool want 30 million. We know, of course, Michael Edwards over the years have got really, really good deals. But I do also think, on one hand, I'd like to keep Ben Doak. I think Ben Doak this season, certainly in Middlesbrough, of course, I'm not going to say I watch him week in, week out, but hearing Middlesbrough supporters and hearing Championship podcasts that say that, oh, Ben Doak is one of the best players in the Championship, you kind of hope and you see, where he progresses from that. You see Harvey Elliott, how great he was for Blackburn. He went on that loan spell. That worked really well. Obviously, Fabio Carvalho also went out on loan to Hull and, was really good there. And of course, that's the two different scales of it. On one scale, you've got Harvey Elliott, and in my opinion, progressed and had a really good period at Blackburn, which, it developed him to get into this Liverpool squad and have an impact on the squad. While also you look at the Fabio Carvalho move, where, again, he made an impact at Hull, but, he never really developed that going into the Premier League. Now with Ben Doak, of course, ACL injury, we don't know how he would have recovered from that. But by the looks of it, his pace is still there. He's still young. He's 19. So, again, the fact that teams are going for him and negotiating for him, I think, look, why not keep him at the football club? I think we could do a lot worse, as backup. If we all want Mo Salah to be staying here for the long run, of course, you've got Chiesa there as well, but also, having a Ben Doak there, why not? Why not keep him at the football club? For me, anyway, I personally would. But again, obviously, the valuation does get met up to £30 million. Can you turn that down? I don't know. In Liverpool's aspect of things, of course, for me, I would keep hold of him because I think he could be very useful for Liverpool's future, or just have a buyback on him and have the first. The fact that you could then, of course, you could sadly then go and buy him then back for 40, 50 million. But the fact that then Liverpool would have the first refusal, again, you could, that could be good in that aspect of things as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts, of course, because, again, it was a bit of a shock, wasn't it, to the system, the fact that Palace bid and then Ipswich bidded so high for him as well. So, again, it will be one to keep a look on for the next couple of days, of course. I don't think Liverpool will sell him personally, but again, Liverpool have their price. It's £30 million. If that gets reached, then who knows? I'd be very, very surprised if it did get it to that Liverpool wouldn't sell. But again, it's all on Liverpool's terms. But by the looks of things, he will finish the season out at Middlesbrough, and then next season, then he would then either be an Ipswich or a Palace player in that regard. But for me, I would like to keep hold of him, in my opinion, anyway, because I think he could have a very, very bright future ahead of him as well. Anyway, but of course, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, of course. Anyway, but there's rumours that Ipswich will come back in for the second bid. Yes, that is true. Both Palace and Ipswich are likely to come back in for Ben Doak. So again, Liverpool might have some room there. But again, Liverpool won't be playing around in that sense. They'll be going simply bang. They won this amount. Again, you don't meet our valuation. We're not gonna go down to your level in that regard. We know that type of strategy from Liverpool, of course. Anyway, but big up Damo as well, saying Mo's agent is playing it different this time around last contract negotiations. He was regularly dropping cryptic and critical tweets about the contract discussions. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's to do with Mo though. Like I think last time, again, the one thing they really wanted was like Kevin De Bruyne money, like again, 350 grand a week, or of course more with bonuses. They wanted to be among the top of the Premier League earners, and for what Mo Salah has done, to that point, before he signed the latest contract, of course, look, he had every right to demand that, because again, you look at, for example, you look at Manchester United, you look at other clubs as well, where players were getting around that, and you go, well, Mo Salah's output is miles better than these players. Why isn't he going and pushing in that way? For this contract negotiation, I don't know if nobody knows really if it's Mo wanting more money, or again, it can't be contract length, because that's been a discussion, hasn't it, for a big period of time, where everyone has suggested, myself included, that potentially it could be years, in terms of the contract length. Of course, I think David Ornstein brought out, I think, a piece, wasn't there, on CBS in America, that again, the feeling is both Van Dijk and Salah will sign a 2-year deal. And again, who knows what that entails in terms of finance. Does Mo Salah want to buff a little bit Van Dijk as well? But like Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk, I think, will sign. But of course, the longer it goes on, the longer we have to wait. But Cal says, why is Ramsey back again? Did not play for Wigan. Really, I think he had a bad injury as well. Again, Liverpool have just had it awfully bad when it comes to Calvin Ramsey. So yeah, we've brought him back because I think he only played, yes, as Ozan said, but there, Ramsey has only played 551 minutes of football all season. Yeah, exactly. He's been pretty bad in terms of the output. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool loaned him back to the Scottish League. That is probably where you might get the best out of him. But again, I'd be very intrigued to see what happens there, because of course I think Kieran Tierney's going back to Celtic. Jesus Christ, Celtic fans would kill me for saying that. But yeah, again, it might be something that with Calvin Ramsey, where he has to go back to the Scottish League to get the best out of him. What do you do with him? The fact that if he's not going or not reaching up to the level of League One in that sense, I think we're going in League One or the Championship. Right there. But before I completely butcher myself, I think they're in League One. Watch them be in the Championship now. I have absolutely no ball knowledge in my head. I believe Wigan are in the. Are Wigan there? Yeah, no, they're in League One. So let me double check. Wigan. No, they're not there either. Are Wigan in the Championship? They must be in League Two in my head anyway. But yeah, again, just simply not good enough, is it? Realistically, anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Anyway, let me quickly go back up to the comments. Damo says Gvardiol's struggles against Stoke probably adds 10 million to his valuation. Now, of course, everybody's seen the butchering that he did to him as well. But look, I think Ben Doak, again, we've seen a very small sample size at Liverpool what he could do, and again, that's pre-season, and we've obviously seen in the cups as well. And then he had the ACL injury, and again, we didn't really see him again after that. Gone out on loan this season, has been really good in the Championship. But again, can he transform that into this Liverpool team? I think he can. Looking at again, 20 championship. This is just Championship games. 20 games, 2 goals, 5 assists. But when you look at that, and when you actually look at his actual statistics, again, expected goals, he should have got more. He's got two goals now. Expected goals is at least 6. So again, when you look at it on that aspect of things, of course, he should have got a lot more goals. Which again, can that improve through development? Of course, it can. But again, of course, we'd have to wait and see for that anyway. But big up John as well, saying, hi Con, do you think we will know more about contract renewals at the end of the month? Yeah, I think this month we should know everything with all three. Whether of course it is Trent going, Mo going, or of course, potentially even the fact that Van Dijk could even go as well. But I don't think that. I think Salah and Van Dijk, of course, I think will stay, but Trent is obviously the big one in that regard, of course, anyway. But Damo says, I think Calvin Ramsey wasn't getting a game at Wigan, not an injury this time. Club probably on the lookout for another loan where he'll play more. I think he did get an injury, to be fair, Damo. I think he had a thigh injury because he was in and out at the start of pre-season, got the injury, and then just never got a game. So I don't know whether or not if they ever favoured him realistically. But big up Hero as well, saying evening all, looking forward to ruining United this weekend again. Yeah, hopefully will be a 7-0. Anyway, obviously big up Rich as well, saying a big up Con. So no problem, mate, absolutely no problem at all. Hopefully we'll get you on the next one. Of course, anyway. And look, this game might get postponed. Like I was said, but United fans are praying for postponement. Con forecast a heavy snow on Sunday morning. Yeah, I think it's from tonight until I think Monday morning they've put the weather warning out for. So again, we could have it pretty bad, couldn't we? As well, but we'll have to wait and see. 100%. But Talia all being 10-0 Liverpool win as well. I love it, Gary. Absolutely love it. As well, obviously Rich saying make sure you click like and subscribe. Great channel as well. Thank you, Rich. Obviously go and subscribe over to Rich's channel. Of course, if the game does go ahead, I think Rich will be having plenty to say on Sunday night anyway. But big up Phil as well. Hope you're doing well. Saying big up Con. Happy New Year to everyone, of course, as well. And hopefully there will be a game to speak about of course on Sunday, because look, the fact that again Liverpool Man United, obviously last time out, we beat them 3-0 at Old Trafford. I think, like, obviously at Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United, it is obviously now Ruben Amorim's Manchester United team, which, of course, Ruben Amorim could have been the Liverpool manager, but Liverpool chose better to go for Arne Slot, of course. But I have got, the clickbait in terms of their United in trouble. And realistically, they are, looking at, the last couple of 5 games in particular, obviously beat Manchester City. They lost in the cup to Spurs, and then 3 straight defeats without a single goal. For Manchester United, a 3-0 defeat at home to Bournemouth, a 2-0 away defeat to Wolves, and a 2-0 home defeat to, of course, Newcastle. But let's be perfectly honest, it could have been a lot more if anybody watched that game in particular. And I'm just looking at their latest squad that they did put out against Newcastle. Again, midfield 2 of Eriksen and Casemiro. I know, obviously, I think he rested Kobe Mainoo. I think he was picking up an injury. But again, when I look at this Manchester United team, it is an absolute state. Like, again, Andre Onana in goal. I've said it to you guys. For me, Andre Onana wasn't an upgrade on David De Gea. And you look at how well De Gea is doing in Italy with Fiorentina. I think all United fans would probably agree with this. So, Rich, if you're still in the comments, of course, do let us know. But I think everyone would have the same argument in terms of you look at United and you look at this team and the amount that they've spent. It's not, it's nowhere near the level of a Manchester United. In the name of Manchester United. I look at that team and I even look at the squads and, you go through it like Onana, and just going bases off, of course, the last starting 11. Onana, not good enough. De Ligt, I think we're clearly seeing a reason why Juventus and Bayern Munich didn't favour him. Maguire, not good enough. Martinez, not good enough. Mazraoui, I think, has been probably their player of the season so far. When you look at it, I think, of course, obviously it's a different system, but I think Mazraoui has been United's best player this season for sure. Casemiro, not good enough. Eriksen, not good enough. Dalot, I think, obviously under Ten Hag, I think last season, I think he was the player of the season. I think, looking at even Ahmad, Ahmad, I think it has been United's, I say Mazraoui, I think Ahmad as well also deserves credit for, his performances throughout the season. I've only watched United once or twice this season, but Ahmad's been up there as well. I think him, I think honestly, him, Mazraoui, Mainoo maybe at a push as well, could probably hold their head up high in terms of what they're producing. But the rest of the squad is ridiculous. Like again, Zersky, obviously disappointing for him on a human level, of course. You know what happened at the Newcastle game. But Højlund as well. Højlund, I think, has been awful for Manchester United. And again, obviously, two league goals. I think he scored a few as well in the Europa League. But I think now, and obviously, Rich, you can obviously speak more on this than me. But Manchester, like again, we suffered this. You know, again, I wasn't born, at the beginning of the 90s, but obviously Liverpool went through it in the 90s and in the 2000s, and obviously we know it in the 2010s for a little bit. But we went through a ridiculous patch, didn't we? Over 20 plus years in terms of the crap that Liverpool signs, and the way we went. Again, we went from being European champions, being competitive, season upon season, to again finishing, around anywhere from fifth downwards in that aspect of things. But this Manchester, I don't think Liverpool ever got as bad as what this Manchester United has gotten. And again, that might be just my opinion, but everyone will go, "Oh, Manchester United's a huge club," and it is commercially. The name Manchester United is huge. But the team, I wouldn't class Ruben Amorim in this regard neither. But United have not been a top team since Ferguson. Since Ferguson left. But for me, I put it down to Ferguson himself. The fact that United needed a rebuild. Under David Moyes, they sacked David Moyes, and this obviously spells back to then. Obviously, you've got the Glazers and you've got Ed Woodward, and obviously that backroom turmoil at Manchester United. Again, that's a whole other question itself. But for me, it all goes back down to Fergie. Fergie left at the perfect time, I think, for himself. And look, people go, "Oh, well, he won obviously league titles and Champions Leagues and this, that, and the other." And yes, that's true. But look at Liverpool, for example. Jurgen Klopp stayed at Liverpool, rebuilt the team, in terms of the midfield. Obviously, that was the big problem. Rebuilt the midfield, made sure Liverpool was stable and competitive to go on and, do more. And obviously now we've seen, what Arne Slot has done this season, of course. But I feel like it's a downward spiral from that. Like the fact that they went for David Moyes, didn't give David Moyes what he wanted, and then it's just been a downward spiral since. And where then you've had Van Gaal, you've had Mourinho, Solskjaer, you've had Ten Hag. Like United, I think Ruben Amorim is a good thing for Manchester United. I do, and I do think that. I think his ideas are good. I think his philosophy is good. But the huge problem for Manchester United is behind the scenes. Is Ed Woodward, the Glazers, are they going to give him time to develop this team or get his ideas across? I don't think so, in my opinion. It took Jurgen Klopp, like you look at Liverpool, it took him a full season to properly get his way in terms of, again, look, in the first full summer, in the first full transfer window, we go and sign a Sadio Mane, we go and sign a Joel Matip, we go and get Loris Karius because, again, he felt like Loris Karius was the goalkeeper for Liverpool. Then, look, we go and get a Gini Wijnaldum. It's a step, it's the building blocks for the future. Then the next summer transfer window, or, in January, for example, we go and sign Virgil van Dijk, and then we go and get Mo Salah. Then obviously we build even further. We go and get Alisson. We go and get, again, we keep on building. United, I don't think, can do that, because it will take them forever to get the rubbish out before they can get anyone in, because again, they're probably so messed up in terms of FFP and obviously PSR, and there's so much wrong with that football club where they probably will have to suffer for a season or two just to be able to build back up. And are they going to do it with Ruben Amorim? Are they going to have the patience for that? I don't think they will do. I think they'll sack him and hope someone else can come in and just plaster over the damage. And that's just my opinion, anyway. But look, I do think if you give Ruben Amorim time, I think he could properly fix Manchester United. But again, will they give him time? That's the question. Anyway, but Happy New Year, says Rich. Of course, anyway, but Amorim is playing a system that uses wing backs. Without wing backs, lol, we'll be poor until we fix our squad. Yeah, and like again, that's another reason for it as well. I think when you look at, I think obviously you've been linked with Kirkez over the last couple of days. I think, I do generally think if you were to go and design somebody like a Frimpong and a Kirkez, again, that would be a massive upgrade on Manchester United, and what Ruben Amorim would want. But look, will they give him that? That's a complete other question. And as well, can United do that? Can United compete? If a team, like for example, if somebody like a Chelsea went in for Kirkez, for example, could Manchester United compete alongside Chelsea in that aspect? No, they couldn't. I don't think they could. For many players, because again, European football is a huge thing. Again, Manchester United, the name will only get you so far. Again, United are going to be out of, unless they win the Europa League, they're going to be out of Europe at this point anyway. So look, I don't hope so. Anyway, I hope, sorry, Rich, if you're still watching, I hope the misery for Manchester United keeps on going and going, and hopefully that continues on Sunday. But look, that's just my opinion. Anyway, but Carl says 99-0 Liverpool, Salah 98 goals, and Alisson's last minute wrap it up as well. Would be nice, to be fair. As well, but Rich says, our squad is the worst in living memory for me. No joke as well. I would probably agree. I think for me, like the thing was, but like back in the day, like obviously me growing up as a kid, you'd have Rooney, you'd have Ronaldo, you'd have Tevez, you'd have Berbatov, but then below that as well, like I think even United for a season they had them for. I think you also had Louis Saha as well. Still at the football club, you had obviously Makeda, obviously Nani as well, a part of that. Again, you had depth and quality throughout the squad. But now, genuinely, I wouldn't take a single player from the Man United team, or the squad for Liverpool. I genuinely wouldn't. At a push, maybe Kobe Mainoo, just because, of course, look, he's a youngster, you could develop him even more into something better than what he is already. But I think overall, like even Ahmad, like again, it wouldn't surprise me if Ahmad left at one point. To be fair, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, no, I would agree 1,000%. But John says, we were bad, I remember well, but United not doing well is because keeping changing managers. You can't change things overnight. 100% agree, 1,000% agree. I really do hope the game goes ahead. Me too. I hope the game goes ahead and you Liverpool batter Manchester United. Imagine having to play both Everton and Man United later in the season, where we're fighting for 4 trophies. Yeah, wouldn't be great, would it, Ozan anyway? But of course, let me know your starting line predictions in the comments down below, of course, anyway. But for me, this is the team that I'm going with to face. Actually, to be fair, I've put Gomez there. I'm not putting Gomez there. Sorry, Chad, this is wrong. So ignore the Joe Gomez part because I've put Joe Gomez there for some reason. But no, for me, it would be Alisson in goal. I've gone with Trent. I've gone with Konza because obviously Ibu is back, as well as Connor Bradley. They're both in training, which is great news, but you suspect they'll be on the bench for the Manchester United game. But I've gone Alisson in goal, Trent right back, Konza at centre back, so no Joe Gomez, and Virgil van Dijk. I've gone Andy Robertson, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Dom Szoboszlai, Mo Salah, Luis Diaz, and Cody Gakpo. I think that's the best front three possible. And look, for me, I think that will be Liverpool's team, minus Joe Gomez for Joel Konza, because for some reason I put Joe Gomez there instead of Konza as well. But no, Joe Gomez isn't injured. He is injured, of course. Arne Slot did confirm that, of course, he is out for a while, was the words that he used. So, again, obviously, we're going to have to hope that it's not too bad. But, again, we'll have to wait and see for that, of course, anyway. But I'm quickly checking to see if there's any news in terms of Ben Doak there's no news on Ben Doak. But again, for me, I think Yeah, no, he's injured. Again, I did it earlier on. I've probably typed in Gomez, just could relap in the last couple of weeks, and then just didn't think about changing it. Anyway, but look, that's just me. Anyway, but no, I am gonna go Liverpool. What is my score prediction for the weekend? For me, I'm gonna go with 3-0. 3-0 Liverpool. I'm gonna go Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, and Virgil van Dijk to get the goals. That's my prediction anyway. Going 3-0. Why not? I think we keep a clean sheet. Again, I don't think United score. Anyway, but I really do hope the game goes ahead. Or read that one out. 6-3 Liverpool. I fancy high scoring games. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I don't want to concede 3 goals against them, but do you know what? As long as we get 3 points, I do not care. But Demo says, with PSR issues and the money it costs to sack Ten Hag, can United afford to sack Amorim, especially when they have players like they'd like to sell, but it will be difficult to shift as they're on a big money. I think. Yeah, I think of course it could be a case. I think United already are struggling. With PSR, even I think without the Ten Hag sacking. But could they afford to sack him? No. I think there would be something there where, again, I think even you look at West Ham. I think West Ham fans have already complained this season because there was a report, I think, come out suggesting that they can't sell. They can't sack Lopetegui because of PSR. Because if they was to sack him, they would be in danger. So again, that could be a possibility for sure. But have you seen the Neil Maupay Everton comment? Yeah, I did find Sean Dyche as well comment a bit funny where he was like, "Nah, he's not going to get any punishment for it." And they're like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Yeah, I don't care." I thought that was pretty funny, to be fair. But Carl's gone 5-0 Liverpool, Salah double, Diaz double, and Jota as well. Look, I'd love a 1-0 win against Manchester United, but still, I think 3-0 for me. Obviously, Carl's gone 5-0. Obviously, Ozan's gone 6-3, as well as Carl said there, United scoring 3, buddy as well. But no, look, again, any win is a good win against Man United. But of course, obviously, Arsenal playing tomorrow as well. Hopefully, Liverpool. I'm saying good evening. Hopefully, Liverpool will. The game will go ahead. But I think overall, of course, I think Liverpool will be prepared to beat United. And look, I think obviously we've got a full squad now. Like, I'm just trying to think. It's probably only Joe Gomez now. His injury. I do think probably now you do look at it and you go, yeah, probably, it is Joe Gomez's injury. That's the only injury we have. We have Chiesa back. You have Ibu back. You have Conor Bradley back. So Liverpool are fully firing. And look, long may it continue, of course, anyway. But Ozan said on a United fan channel, they did a poll of 53 of followers predicted a United win. Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? But I think they know deep down it could get ugly on Sunday. And look, if it does, then again, we will be there, of course, anyway. But look, I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in to, of course, the match preview show. If there is any news, of course, with Ben Doak as well, in regards to any bids, of course, make sure you do keep an eye on the channel. We'll either do a live or, of course, we'll do a YouTube short. So make sure you are tuned to the channel anyway. But, of course, if there is any news, of course, about the Liverpool-Manchester United game as well, we will be live for that, of course, because there is an inspection. I think, is it tomorrow the inspection is? Or no, it's early Sunday morning. So, again, any news will be live for it, of course, anyway. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed tonight's episode. If you are new around here, of course, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and all that good stuff. Anyway, but of course, let me know, all of you. All of you are. Anyway, I've just seen that comment. But cheers, lad, as well. To be fair, I'm about to come on FM and absolutely batter all of yous in a minute anyway. But cheers, Connor. So as Damo. in the mornings as well. Yeah, Sunday morning it's going to be. But all right, Goodison Road TV. I love that. Jack, change it. Sunday as well. John on a Reese, or Jack on a Reese, I should say. Surprised 47% of them had any idea. Two-Face's Hero, you are my spirit animal as well. And chat be live at 10 p.m. So go over to Jack's chat. Oh, so there we go. So if anybody doesn't know, Jack gave me stick for coming on live. So Jack's doing a video at 10 p.m. Of course you are. Course you are. Anyway, but look, anyway, we'll be live tomorrow if there's any news, of course, so make sure you are tuned in. And yeah, if not, we'll see you Sunday for the post-match reaction show anyway. But like I said, until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. Actually, I will say though as well, I do think the game will go ahead as well. I should say that before we do shoot it off anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.